the floor. If that's
Senator Whitehouse.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you very much, Senator Blumenthal. I appreciate that courtesy. My questions are going to be for Director Brandon. And let me just say that in my years as Rhode Island's U.S. Attorney, I just thought that the ATF office there was terrific. You made big cases with a small office. You were low maintenance and high performance, and it was terrific. So I just want to express my appreciation to my colleagues from that office back then and to the ATF generally now.
Senator, if I may say thank you for that, because right now there are men and women all around the country for ATF serving warrants, high-risk warrants, and I know that they'll hear what you said and that will really help their morale. So sincerely, I have to say thank you.
Well, it's sincere on my part. We're here because of the general proposition that a database is only as good as the data that actually enters into it. And if you search a database for data that's never been entered, it's going to fail. Mm-hmm. So this hearing is mostly about NICS, but I'd like to ask you a few questions about another one, the NIBIN database for ballistics information. Mm-hmm. What is your view as the acting director of ATF as to how effective the collection is of data of crime guns, weapons and cartridges and bullets that goes into that system? Do you think we're operating effectively at catching the data so we aren't having the kind of data slips that in the NICS system this hearing is about? Is NIBIN an example that we should use of better collection, or is it an area where we need to provide a little bit of attention to make sure that there aren't data gaps in that system as well?
Well, thank you for the questions, Senator. And NIBIN, I've testified previously, it stands for the National Integrated Ballistics Information Network, and where I spoke at Major City Chiefs back in October, and I said that where NIBIN is working well, it's when the police chief, he or she, establishes policy, but also changes culture, because culture will chew up policy all day long, and that it's quite effective. And the reason it has been, we at ATF actually took an assessment of ourselves, and we turned it into a leads generator instead of a scientific confirmation. So as an example, sir, I had, I believe it was the assistant chief of Cincinnati PD, came up to me 2 years ago at the IAC, International Association of Chiefs of Police in San Diego, and said, I have to stop and just want to compliment. We had a shooter shoot at our police headquarters, miss our officer. Within 12 hours, we emptied that casing that was left at the scene, and it went through a National NIBIN Correlation and Training Center down in Huntsville, Alabama, which we recently established 2 years ago now. Within 24 hours, we had a match to 3 other shootings, and he said his detectives and the ATF agent had 3 guys locked up in 72 hours. So NIBIN is something that is quite effective when it's properly policied.
It's led to the arrest of serial carjackers. It's led to the arrest of a triple murder. It's led to the arrest of a murderer who killed a police officer. It's led to significant gang arrests. It's opened cold cases. Right. It's a valuable tool. My question is, and you can take it for the record because I know this wasn't the specific focus of this hearing, but I'd love to get an answer on it, is in the universe of data that should be coming into NIBIN to populate that database so that the searches like the one you described can be effective and can generate those quick leads. Of that universe of data that should be coming in, how much of it do you think now is? Are we at 10%, 50%, 90%, 99.9%?
Senator, I'll say of the sites that we have, that it has improved. I will get back to you on the exact...
Let's just make it a question for the record then.
Yep.
But I appreciate your service. I appreciate your support for the NIBIN program, and I appreciate its crime-solving capabilities.
No,
Thank you.
I totally agree. Thank you, Senator.